Hey, what's up beauties? On today's video I'm going to show you guys how to turn these clothes into an everyday piece. So sort of like doing a quick fix on your clothes to make them a bit more functional. I hope this inspires you to fix up your clothes and make them a bit more functional and an everyday, sort of like turn clothes you don't use that often to an everyday piece. So yeah, and I also hope that you enjoy the video. Let's get into the video. Hey, what's up beautiful people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's your home girl Lady Ngumane. So excited to be chilling with you once again, this moment at this time. No bad hair right here, I'm kidding, there's the bad hair underneath this thing. You don't have to know that. Anyways, in today's video I am fixing up clothes in my wardrobe that are a bit messed up. At the moment they really don't work for me, and they don't work for me or they do not fit me well. So on today's video I'm gonna be fixing some of those clothes with you guys, and I'm taking you through the process with me in case you guys also have something in your wardrobe that needs a bit of fixing in order to become more functional. So let's get into the video, shall we? So this is the first item that we're going to be dealing with. As you can see, it's yellow, it's cute, but it's not an everyday thing for me. So enjoy the dress and enjoy my awkward my stupidity in this video as well, because well, that's an everyday thing actually. So you can also enjoy it next time. It's cool, we cool. Anyways, this is the dress that we're tackling. As you can see, it's rounded at the bottom. It has like these very huge slits on the sides, and I'm also failing to twirl to show you the whole thing, but you get the idea. So you can see we have this cute bow moment happening on the arms that I'm a fan of. What I do not like is the long slit, the roundness of the dress in the front and at the back. And yeah, so that's what we're tackling. We're turning this into something that we would wear on a daily basis, and that's the point. So let's get into this video. I hope that you enjoy this DIY. Let's get into it. So you guys have already seen that I've tried on my t-shirt dress to see what I like about it and what I do not like about it. So at this point I already know what I'm keeping in the t-shirt and what I am eliminating. So that's what you want to do first, and then you want to make sure that you put your dress flat on the ground and make sure that it's ready for cutting. So here's the thing, I misplaced the footage whereby I'm showing you guys how I cut my dress to the crop top, but here I'm just trying to explain to you guys, show you guys, demonstrate what I did to make it easier for me to get like somewhat of a straight cut. So you need obviously to lay your whatever that you're cutting on the surface and make sure that it's flat, and then you take your pair of scissors and try to like draw a straight line down, because you have a greater chance of getting a straight line when you do it like that. Okay, somewhat of a straight line, and it's easier for you to cut from there because you have that line that you are following. So I'm just gonna repeat that on the other side. Okay, you repeat this as many times as you have to. So basically that's the method that I followed for cutting my t-shirt dress. So now that we all caught up, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna take your iron and make sure that what you're DIYing, so here in this case my top is ironed properly at the edges where we just made our cut, because of this is gonna be where we are sewing, so we want that line to be straight. So when you're done with your cutting, you want to fold the bottom part of your t-shirt to make sure that like everything is neat, and when you do this your t-shirt should be inside out, so that the part that you're folding right now, you won't be able to see it when you're wearing your t-shirt the right way. So that's what we're going for. So your shirt should be inside out. So now I'm going in with an iron to make sure that my line or the fold is like crisp and it stays in place. This will make it easy for me to sew because I'll have a straight line to follow as a guideline. to start with, and this helps the material stays in place, so chances of you making mistakes are very slim. So that's what you're gonna do. Go in with your iron and just take your time when you're doing this part because it's crucial. So do this until you have the whole t-shirt done, and when you're doing this, make sure that you try to take in the same amount of fabric in each section, so that you kind of like have a cleaner line and kind of like a straight line at the bottom. While it won't be exactly the same, but make sure that like it's somewhat close. So now you want to go in with your sewing machine, just your needle and thread, and sew everything in place. Use what you have. Don't be dramatic here and go out and try to buy some. Okay, I don't think any one of you is gonna do that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sewing everything in place, and yeah, make sure that you backstitch, or you just like make sure that everything is secure when you start, because you do not want your needle, you do not want your thread coming off. Sorry. So now I'm going in to measure my elastic around the area where it's gonna be obviously on my top. So I'm measuring, I get my measurement, I make a mark, and then I make a cut there. And now this is the elastic that I'm working with. But as you can see, my elastic is pretty thick, so I'm gonna fold it in half and then cut it again so that I make it like a bit thinner. So now that I have that, like that's half my measurement, I'm gonna cut that in the middle to thin it out. So once I have the two thin elastics, I'm gonna have to stitch them back together, as in like sew them together, so that I have like one elastic to put on my top. And by sewing the elastics together, I'm sort of like taking a bit of elastic from each side, which will allow the elastic to fit properly around the area where it's supposed to be, as it will have to stretch out and hug my body properly due to the decrease in the size. So initially I didn't like stretch out the elastic when I was measuring it around that area, because I knew that I would cut the elastic and do all this other stuff. But if your elastic is already in the size that you want it to be, then you have to stretch it out a bit when you're measuring to ensure that it hugs your body properly. So now you want to go in at the bottom of your top and measure your elastic and fold such that you cannot see your elastic anymore. So that is going to be your tunnel for your elastic, but make sure that you also leave a bit of room for some stitching, because you have to close this and make sort of like a loop for your elastic to go through, or a tunnel. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And after that fold, you make sure that you follow that guideline for your entire top and press it down to make it easy for sewing. So that's what I'm doing. So once you're done with your ironing, you want to make sure that you go back with your elastic and check that it can really fit, because we're not trying to work backwards, guys. We're not. And now that we are sure that we're not supposed to take away anymore from the elastic, we're gonna go back and stitch the two elastics together. But if you already have your elastic in one piece, then you skip the step entirely. So when you still have your sewing game on, you might as well move on to your top and just sew it down as well. But make sure that you're securing your thread so that it doesn't come off, okay, at the beginning. So what I'm doing now is just I'm closing that. I'm actually making a loop, because I already have that guideline of where my elastic is gonna be and how thick my fold is supposed to be. I'm going in now to stitch everything in place and making sure that I am making like a tunnel. Actually, yeah, I'm making a tunnel. But when doing this, make sure that you leave a gap between where you start and where you finish, enough that your elastic can go through, because after this we'll need to put our elastic inside that tunnel that we just made. So now you're gonna need a safety pin, probably not as big as mine, but that's what I have. And you also need your elastic. You need to make sure that you trim off all the loose threads on your elastic if you did sew your elastic, but if not, then you're good. So now I'm gonna use a sewing pin in order to pin one end, the other end of the elastic to the top. This is to make sure that as I am looping my elastic through the tunnel, the whole elastic doesn't go into the loop, as it will be very difficult having to take it out again and stuff. So to prevent all that from happening, I am pinning the other end of the elastic to the top, and then after that you just put the side with the safety pin on, you put it in the loop and start looping your elastic through, and make sure that you actually distribute the fabric around the elastic as you go. So after some time looping, I noticed that I couldn't get out of the loop from the other side because the sewing pin was on the way. So I just moved that out of the way and took out my safety pin because I was done looping at this point. And then once I'm done with all that, in order to make sure that I distribute my fabric well around that elastic, I'm gonna take out the safety pin, take out the sewing pin, and basically hold the two ends of the elastics using the safety pin together so that, yeah, they are like in place. So now you just want to distribute your fabric around your elastic and like take your time, because be gentle as well, because you don't want the safety pin popping off and like taking you 7 steps back. You don't want that. So be gentle as you do this because you don't want any mistakes. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So once you're done distributing your fabric, you want to remove your safety pin and sew the two ends of your elastic together to make sure that they are secure and in place. And just a few more steps, you'll be done with the DIY. So now that our elastic is secure, we have to do with the opening that we use to insert our elastic. So you close that opening and that's your top done. The moment we've all been waiting for. So secondly, we want to tackle this problem that we have here. When you have a skirt or a denim jean not fitting well or properly at the waist area, that's what this DIY is all about. So our skirt is loose when it comes to the waist, and we're trying to solve that problem. So let's get into it. So as you can see, our skirt at the back is divided into 2 sections. What you want to do is find an elastic that when you stretch it, it can fit from the center of one section to the center of the other section, and yeah, we'll be working from there. So once you have your elastic, you want to make sure that you make a cut from where you measured your elastic from. So make a cut in the middle of one section and another cut at the middle of the other section. So it's basically making a cut at each point where you had your elastic ends at. So when you're making a cut, you want to make sure that your denim is inside out. And another thing is that you are not supposed to cut all the way through to the other side. So basically you're just opening a bit on the inside so that you can loop your elastic. When doing this, you want to make sure that your opening is big enough so your elastic can fit in the opening. And yeah, because my elastic is big to start with, I'm cutting it in half to make sure that it is smaller than the original folding on the denim, so that it's able to fit into that opening that I made and the original loop of the denim. Now I'm bringing in my safety pin, repeating the same step that I did with my first DIY to basically attach the safety pin at the end of the elastic so that I'm able to loop it through. But this was a fail because my safety pin was so big and it didn't fit into the loop of the denim, so I had to come up with another idea. So what I did after that failed is I used a back sewing needle with wool. I made a knot at one end of wool, and then I made a hole in the elastic, and then I used the thin side. So it's basically as if I was sewing, but then this failed because of the thin end of the needle kept poking on the denim. So I had to flip the needle around and then use the other side to loop the elastic through, and then just pull the thread, and then with time you'll get to the elastic. And when doing this, you want to make sure that you secure the other end of the elastic on the denim so that it doesn't get into the loop as well. Once you're done looping, you want to secure the other end as well, and then put on your skirt inside out. And after that, you just pull the elastic until the skirt fits properly, adjust as you go, and yeah. Once you've pulled the elastic enough and you're satisfied with how your skirt fits, you want to go in with another safety pin, which I do not have, hence I'm using a sewing pin. You want to go in with that and then mark that point. So it's basically pin that point down and then take off your skirt and adjust it. So this is the point of the elastic that I marked that I have to sew down. And after that, yeah, we're moving on to sewing the elastic in place. So this is me just stitching the elastic in place to make sure that it's secure, and you're gonna do this for both sides. So sew the elastic on this side when it is stretched, and sew it again on the other side. And when you're sewing, make sure that you do not sew exactly at the cut, but leave a reasonable distance between your stitching and the line where you made your cut, so that you have that space of security. In case your fabric does fray, you know that your stitching will not be affected. So you want to go in now to push the excess fabric, the elastic into the loop as well, so that it doesn't show on the inside of the skirt. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the remaining elastic is not too big, but you want to make sure that it is enough so that it doesn't keep on coming outside when you wear the skirt. So this is the amount that I left out. So you can check on the video to see the amount that I left out and use that as a guideline. So you keep on pushing until the elastic that you're trying to loop through lays flat. And after all that, your skirt is ready. And look at how nicely the skirt hugs my body. So, and you can see that this is a good thing because at the back I also have that stretch for cases when, you know, I'm too full, I'm bloated and stuff. I know that I can still fit in my skirt. So this is better, according to me, than actually cutting away
the denim. So yeah.
Alright guys, we've reached the end of the video, and I hope that this inspired you to actually fix up some clothes in your wardrobe. You should know that you do not always have to spend some money on some things, girls. You can always make DIY something that you already have to get a certain look that you want, and just work with that. So that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, give me a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed. If you did enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up so I know that you really enjoyed the video. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed me being here all up in your face, giving you guys all these good tips and everything. So yeah, subscribe to my channel. Well, even if you don't like me, just subscribe. I'm a good person. I deserve good things. You're a good thing to my channel right now, so subscribe. Subscribe, click on that, subscribe to my channel. Let's become friends. You're already here, you might as well just do it. Okay, let me give you space. Right here, subscribe to my channel. It's right here, right here. Just click on this and subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. I'm not going anywhere until you click this and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Alright, cool. You subscribe? Oh, good.